Guys, before this video starts, I have a really important message, and I think all of you can contribute to this. So one of my long-term subscribers, Adam, who also owns a Nissan Sentra Spec V, had his literally explode when he was driving home from a gas station. Now this guy is one of my very few OG subscribers. He first direct messaged me on Instagram back when my JR Garage video only had 200 views. He has been there for me for such a long time and has been such a loyal subscriber. And for him being there for me, I think it's only right that we're here for him in this moment. Because ever since his car exploded, he has not had a daily driver in order to use to get to school every single day. All he needs is enough money for him to get a daily driver car, and currently he's already $1,000 into his $3,000 goal. If you guys can contribute any money to him, just anything whatsoever, it would mean the world to me because he is one of the people that makes this channel strong. If you love cars and you want people to make sure that they have them as not only just for fun but also for transportation, helping this guy out will do a lot for me, and both him and me thank you for it. So with that message, let's get on to the video. Hey guys, it's Ricer Boy, and we're finally back at the car again to finally do some real work. Now something that I have not liked about this car since day one has been the paint. And the paint is possibly worst on the roof. So if you could take a look at that, pretty much all of the clear coat is just like really bad and peeling there. You could even see some of the gray base coat right there above the passenger side window. And I've just gotten really tired of looking at it, and I've determined a way I could fix it since I've been considering on how to do it for a while now. So originally I was going to vinyl wrap the roof, but not only does that require rolling back your sunroof, which mine doesn't do because I don't have the gears anymore, but also it requires about $35 and someone else to help with putting it on. However, another option that I have is using Plasti-Dip. And if you've seen my car before, you know I like Plasti-Dip. Oh, and I also know someone's probably going to comment about what's going on over here, and I'll just say that for one of my videos that you'll see in the future, I was planning on looking more like iDubbbz, but instead I looked like a child molester, so yeah. Now like I said, because all of my clear coat is peeling on my roof, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this sandpaper to get rid of all the loose clear coat that could possibly interfere with the Plastidip when I finally start putting that on. So let's get started with the sanding process. Actually, something really funny that I can say to fill up the time in this opportunity is that recently I've been applying to a crap ton of jobs, and since I'm 17 and I've never had a job before outside of my home, what's great is that I went to an interview at this one fancy restaurant, and I was all dressed up and everything in my preppy clothes. I was looking pretty nice, but the first thing the guy said, like when we sat at the tables, he was like, "So you see that goatee thing you have going on with your face?" And I said, "Yeah, I've been growing it out for a little bit. You know, ever since I finished high school, I've sort of lost touch of myself." And he said, "Yeah, that kind of needs to go." So now I agree with him, and I'm probably gonna shave for the first time in like a week and a half. So that's gonna be fun. So first we were hardening it with the sandpaper and got rid of all the loose clear coat. And now we're going to be nice to it. We're going to use this microfiber cloth with some water to clean off the roof before we start masking. Now of all the things I went over in the story of how I got this car, one thing that I didn't mention is that when I got this car with my dad originally, the dealership that we got it from agreed that the paint was absolutely awful, and they actually offered to repaint the whole car for $600 because they knew a guy that was nearby there that'd do the job for cheap. And, you know, even though this was like a Mexican car dealership, and no offense, of course, none culturally, It was a bit sketchy because this thing came with a bad ECU with the check engine light. The thing is that my dad said, no, this car doesn't need new paint. The current paint is just fine. And yeah, now I'm doing this because the current paint isn't just fine. Thanks, Dad. So now begins the long masking process, because if there's something that I want this job to look, I want it to look clean. So the first thing we're going to have to do is get these plastic trim pieces right here on each side, and actually rip them up. They're only put on with some adhesive, so I think that if you just pull it up like this, it should come out just fine. Just like that. And then we'll just rip this one off. Okay, now it wants to go. Alright. So they actually used some good adhesive on this one. They didn't on the other one. So then, that means that the last trim piece that I have to remove is this gigantic lip that's on the entire front side of the windshield right here. So hopefully, if we peel back these other trim pieces, we can get this one off. Alright, I've got the frog tape and some printer paper, so let's get started with masking. Alright, it's done. Looks like a windshield banner, except not. So now with the doors open, we can mask the sides really easily. So with some patience, along with some trial and error, I managed to get that side done. So now we just have to tackle the back window and the other side. So then that right there is the last side. Just have to mask that off along with the sunroof, and then we'll be ready to dip. So now officially all the sides are done, and I also got a chair for my short ass to take care of that sunroof. So guys, we got all the masking done. Got a lot of progress in today, so we can finish this job tomorrow. So guys, it's the next day. I've got a fresh shave and a Led Zeppelin t-shirt on, and I'm ready to do some Plastidip work. Now obviously being Ricer Boy, this isn't the first time I've used Plastidip, and even on the channel I've used it before. So as we all know, just gotta start out with some light coats, then we can get on to the heavier business. Now that first layer barely has to be anything. As you can see, it's just a little bit smoky. You could definitely tell that I did put some of the Plastidip on there, However, this is just so that way it learns how to bond to the surface. Nothing too complicated here. Now it's time for the second coat. So guys, one of the reasons why people go so wrong with Plasti-Dip is they don't understand the point of waiting in layers. As you can see, you can still see the red through there, even on my second coat. And the reason why so many people fail is just because they think it's paint. You just put on a big glob and it'll look perfect, but this is more of what you're looking for. Just go in stages and be patient. Now it's time for coat number 3. So now that is coat number 3 and my first can completed. As you can see, the more coats I do, the heavier I apply it. And even though that can was half empty, it got me this far. So I'm impressed with how efficient it is when you use this Plasti-Dip. Looking nice. So from here on out, the Plasti-Dip process should be pretty self-explanatory. Just have to do a couple finishing coats. So I don't think I need to take video of that, besides the fact that I ran out of camera angles. So I'll get back at you when we do the unmasking process. So with some touch-up coats later, this is the final result. Still drying a little bit. Looks pretty good as we're running out of daylight here. So now all I have to do is peel off the masking and I'll show you my hack to doing that correctly. So now, using my trusty flathead screwdriver, I gently separate the Plasti-Dip from the tape so that way it'll peel off smoothly without ripping the Plasti-Dip. Of course, you want to be careful of your paint, even though I don't have much left to begin with. But if you do this, then it means that you won't be pulling up the Plasti-Dip you just sprayed when you're taking off all of your masking. So you just hold the screwdriver down as you peel the tape off, so that way that Plasti-Dip stays on there nice and pretty.
12 seconds later.
Alright, the first sheet of paper off. And just like that, that whole side is done. Looks good. I'm pretty proud of this job. It's certainly not perfect. It is very difficult to get perfect with Plasti-Dip, but I'll just keep working on it, touching it up throughout, and when the product's finished, I'll definitely show it to you guys. But other than that, as always guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.